Many of us as moms, we look so strong on the outside, but deep down on our inside, a good number of us feel so exhausted. A good number of us feel so overwhelmed. Now, as a mom, we're going to learn what are the things we can start to do so that when we feel exhausted, when we feel overwhelmed, we can learn to find strength in God. Now, let's talk about the story of Elijah in the Bible. Elijah was a great prophet, but even though he was a great prophet, at a point in his journey, Elijah was overwhelmed. Elijah was scared, and he even asked God to take his life. So sometimes as moms we find ourselves in this space. You look so strong on the outside. You look so good, everything all put together. But on the inside you are draining. On the inside you are overwhelmed. On the inside you are exhausted. On the inside you are tired. Now, do you know what God did? When Elijah was at this space, God responded. God responded to Elijah. He provided him food. God encouraged him. God provided him with rest. That is to tell you that when you feel you're exhausted as a mom, or when you feel you're overwhelmed, that is not the end of the journey. That is not the end of your process or of whatever you are doing. All you need to do is to learn, what can I do when I am stressed? What can I do when I find myself in this space where you're exhausted? Now let's talk about some of the things that that overwhelm a lot of moms, or that make us to be in that space where we are tired or we're exhausted. Number one is emotional exhaustion. When you're not able to manage your emotions, when you're exhausted, you're tired, you're just tired emotionally. You can label your emotion. Emotions are all over the place. It can make you to be overwhelmed as a mom. Another thing why a lot of us are overwhelmed is lack of personal time. Most of us do not sit down with ourselves to have conversations with ourselves. In fact, most of us cannot even look at ourselves in the mirror and have some form of conversation with ourselves. Most of us cannot sit down and journal, write your thoughts, talk about yourself. Just speak to yourself, have a conversation with yourself. Most of us do not have that time. And when we find ourselves in this space, it makes us to be overwhelmed. Another reason why we are feeling overwhelmed is because probably a lot of responsibilities. Maybe as a mom, you have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things to do, and you find your space, self in this space where you're constantly tired, you're constantly feeling overwhelmed. Yes, there is something that you can do. Another thing is that another reason why a lot of us are overwhelmed is because of mental burnout. Most of us have gotten to that space where we're not growing, we're not building ourselves, we're not developing ourselves, and we just find ourselves overwhelmed. There is something you can do. Another reason why we feel overwhelmed is that we feel unsupported. A good number of moms feel, oh, they are doing a whole lot, but they do not feel supported. When you find yourself in that space, you're most likely going to be overwhelmed. So in practical ways, what are the things we can start to do to step away from this place where we are feeling overwhelmed and to find strength in our maker, in God? Number one, you must prioritize your rests. It is important as moms we take out time and rest. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, it could be what works for you. And the truth is that rest is different for different people. Some people, their rest could be just them sitting down with their book, journaling and all. What is that for you? Prioritize your rest. Tell yourself you're going to rest, because when you rest, you're better able to fill up yourself. You refill yourself, and you're able to give your best to other people. Another thing you can do so you don't feel overwhelmed as a mom is ask for help. It is okay to ask for help. Most of us grew up with this mindset that, oh, you don't need to ask for help. When you ask for help, you look weak, but that is not true. It is okay to ask for help. When you ask for help as a mom, you step away from that place where you feel overwhelmed. Another thing we can do is to create quiet time with God. You need to create time for your source, your creator, your identity, which is God. When you do, you find a lot of things that you're overwhelmed about, a lot of things that you're just not okay with. You begin to find out that there's going to be a lot of difference, because you're spending time with God, you're developing yourself, you're studying, you're learning all you need to learn. Another thing we can do such that we are not overwhelmed is to simplify our expectations. Most of us have a lot of expectations of ourselves, of our children. Can we simplify those expectations? Can we make those expectations relatable? Can we make those expectations, something that we can attain? So we must simplify our expectations and not find ourselves in the space where we are comparing others. Another thing we need to do is to trust God's strength. When you feel overwhelmed, remember you are not alone. As a mom, you have a helper, you have a source that is God. So learn to trust God, learn to trust His strength as well. It's going to change a whole lot for you. So we must remember that you as a mom, every one of us need God's strength. Every one of us need God's strength, because we need God's strength. We need to renew our strength on a daily basis, because sometimes you get overwhelmed, you get exhausted, but we have a friend, we have a God that we can always rely on, our source, our identity that can help us reclaim who we are on the inside. So today, we must learn as moms to step away from that place where we are constantly feeling overwhelmed or exhausted and begin to trust more in the process. Begin to trust more on God. Thank you very much for joining me today. I believe you've got value for your time. Please like this video. Please share this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Confident Mom Academy. My name is Chioma Odikolo. Do have a great day. Until I come your way next time.